men of Palestine Action are being arrested every week. Universities are cracking down on student encampments. Councils are being told not to support boycotts. And ordinary people and allies of all backgrounds are being smeared, surveilled, and silenced simply for standing with Palestine. And now we see the violence extend beyond Gaza itself to international waters and neighboring countries, including Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, and Iran. Basically, anyone who dares to speak up for the Palestinians end up being harassed and assaulted. So the question is, what do? We organize, we resist, and we do not wait for permission to stand with the oppressed. We escalate the BDS campaign. We campaign to shut down every single arms company profiting from Palestinian blood. We put pressure on our MPs. We support the students, the workers, and the unions who are speaking out. We build stronger and broader movements with the clarity that this is not just about foreign policy, but it is about dismantling a system that allows genocide to happen in broad daylight and silences those who speak out against it. And we keep going, even when they try to ban our protests, arrest our comrades, and attack our ships. Because the Palestinian struggle is not just a cause, it's a test. It's a test of whether we are willing to act when it matters the most. I'll end with this. The next demonstration is on the 11th of October, and sadly, it marks the 2nd anniversary of the genocide. But we got to do what we got to do here, and that is we got to keep up the fight. So I'll urge everyone here to tell all your friends and family and colleagues at work to come and join the demonstration on the 11th. Organize actions in your schools, universities, hospitals, any workplace, whatever you can, do it locally. You can collect leaflets from the Stop the War office, you can collect posters from our office, you can order them online. Do whatever you can to build this demonstration, because when millions of us, that's Palestinians giving me a hug, I guess. So when millions of us are marching through the streets of London, they got to hear us at some point. So keep doing what you're doing, keep marching, keep protesting, and keep standing up for the Palestinians. Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! Thank you, and thank you, Haya, once again.
Palestine Action. I don't know if it's them, but somebody broke into the Elbit place in Newcastle. This is what we gotta do. We gotta take down the whole system. Yes. The whole Elbit system.
Shout it down.
Down with Elbit.
Down with Elbit.
Free, free!
Palestine.
Free, free!
Palestine.
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free.
From the sea to the river!
Palestine will live forever.
I'm going to say a few words now. The UK has recognized a Palestinian state, but have they stopped the genocide?
No.
Have they halted arms sales to the barbaric Zionist entity?
No.
Has the UK said a word about protecting its citizens on the Freedom Flotilla?
No.
In the last 24 hours, the Zionist entity bombed Gaza 170 times. I repeat, the Zionist entity has bombed Gaza 170 times. Shame! The UK's recognition of a Palestinian state is not a turning point, it is a mere political performance. Stripped of substance, it is a symbolic gesture, time to placate public opinion while sidestepping any real confrontation with the machinery of occupation and settler colonialism.
Yes.
Shame.
It allows Britain to pose as a moral actor whilst ensuring nothing changes on the ground, whilst the Zionists continue to carry out ethnic cleansing against our Palestinian brothers and sisters. Shame!
Shame.
For the Palestinians, they are throwing them a bone. It is nothing but an illusion using the language of so-called justice. But true justice is going to be achieved when the entirety of the land, from the river to the sea, is liberated from the settler colonialism by the Zionist entity.
Yes.
brave people who are on their mission to break the siege, including a comrade of ours called Air. Make some noise for Air! He is an absolute inspiration, and we send him all of our love and support. He is one of the British citizens and the UK has not issued one single statement to ensure that he and all others on all of the boats would be protected. Shame! Those on the Freedom Flotilla are doing what our governments have failed to do. They are taking real action over useless political spectacles. These people of conscience are supposedly going under the protection of the so-called international law, but yet they are targeted and injured by the drones of the Zionist entity. Their internet is jammed, their radios are jammed to isolate them from the world. International law, the same international law that embraces the cowardly institutions like the UN, the ICJ, and the ICC. Shame! These institutions are drowning in their own bureaucracy. Layer upon layer of committees and diplomatic gestures and cases with rulings that lead absolutely nowhere. It took the UN 2 years to admit that what is happening is a genocide, and yet nothing has yet been done. The Zionist entity is increasing its measures, it's increasing its massacres against our Palestinian brothers and sisters, and just when you think it couldn't get worse, it does. Every single day, it gets worse. Shame! This is not just incompetence from these international institutions, it is intentional. They were never designed to be instruments of revolutionary change. They were designed to preserve the status quo, to give the illusion of justice and freedom, whilst ensuring that the world remains safe for imperial powers and their allies. They betray every concept international law should really stand for. Yes. The massacre of the Palestinians has revealed the true faces of these Western powers. Regimes that claim that they are the protector of human rights, yet these same regimes are enabling this ethnic cleansing. These same regimes are the ones attempting to silence us. They are throwing those pro-Palestine activists into jails, keeping them on remand for years before their trial. Shame! Shame! We living in the West see firsthand how we are also colonized by capitalist and imperialist forces that exploit people. And let us not forget the treachery of the Arab leaders. The Arab regimes cannot call themselves people of dignity, of faith, or of solidarity, whilst they host the architects of Palestinian suffering, whilst they uphold their own thrones of power. The normalization of relations with an illegitimate settler colonial entity that has made the ethnic cleansing of an entire population its policy. They signed the deal of the century. The deal of the century which states that Palestinians in Gaza are to be displaced to Sinai and that Palestinians in the West Bank are to be displaced to Jordan. Shame! Shame! These Arab leaders smile for cameras, demonize resistance and the power of the people. They imprison our people back home and open routes where supplies reach the Zionist entity to aid them. They maintain their thrones of power whilst our Palestinian people are suffering in Gaza and in the West Bank. They open their ports and seas and skies for the weapons to reach the Zionist entity, because they know that Gaza, that Palestine is our beacon of hope, and it is the cause that will break the Arab populations free from their chains, leading to our own freedom from the shackles of Western imperialism once and for all. What these cowardly regimes fear the most is the power of us, the power of the people. The masses hold the real power. They can act as if our opinions are irrelevant, but the awareness and the rise of millions around the world has happened because of the steadfastness of the Palestinian people, because of their resilience. It has happened because and they are still fighting, they are still remaining on their homeland, and they're saying, even if we are killed, we are going to remain because it is our land and it always will be their land, and those in exile will return in their millions. And the state can try and put out its repression, but that only means one thing, that our pressure is working and that they are the ones that are intimidated by us. The world before the 7th of October is completely different from where we are now. The political spectacles of countries like our country here and their mere attempts to try to tame the masses and the revolution will never work. They are fooling nobody. They believe that they could recognize a Palestinian state, and they're trying to make us stay silent whilst we know that the colonizer will never ever live alongside the colonized. That will never happen because Palestine will be liberated from the river to the sea. And it's not just Britain. We've seen that hypocrisy with Italy and their political spectacle where they sent out a navy vessel. But the true power we saw came from the citizens of Italy who went on strike and shut it down. 2 years of genocide, 2 years of ethnic cleansing, 2 years and over 100 years of settler colonialism. And we continue to reiterate that it was not just a chapter closed in 1948 when the Nakba happened, or in 1917 when Britain signed off land that was never theirs to give in the first place. Shame! 1948 was the opening line in a story of pain, grief, ongoing settler colonialism, resistance, and unyielding spirit. A story still being written because the grandfather that was born in a tent in 1948 has passed on the key to their home, to their children, as they now wait in a tent in Gaza to return home. That is resistance, that is steadfastness, that is the resilience of the Palestinian people. We will continue to highlight and expose British complicity. Keir Starmer is fooling no one because in October 2023, as the genocide began to unfold, he said that the Zionist entity has a right to cut access to food, electricity, and water in Gaza. Shame! Shame! So let us organize, educate, and resist by any means necessary. The path is long, but the destination is written. Because Palestine will be free. And I don't just mean Gaza and the West Bank. I mean the occupied 48 region. And every single martyr is a star guiding us through the darkness. For Dr. Rafat Al-Harir, for Hind Rajab, for Anas Al-Sharif, for Hussam Shabat, for every single one of our martyrs. They teach life. That's what Palestinians do. So it's our duty to listen and to carry their legacy of every single Palestinian man, woman, and child. For Wael al-Dahdouh, for his children, for Jihad and Haytham, our friends in Gaza, for our liberation. Palestine is our umbrella of resistance. And to end, I want to end on our martyr Anas al-Sharif's words. And his words echo across the globe to every single one of us who are fighting for liberation. Be bridges towards liberating the country and its people so that the sun of dignity and freedom may shine on our country. Thank you so much. So when I chant this next chant, we need to be as loud as we can in our thousands, in our millions.
We are all Palestinians.
In our thousands, in our millions.
We are
speakers that are coming up. I'm very honored to stand alongside my comrades from the SARS Liberated Zone. They are inspirational. The first student that's going to be up speaking is a second-year student called Zaki, so please make some noise!
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. After almost 2 years of the most visible genocide, the world's first live-streamed genocide, a genocide the likes of which humanity has not seen before, the people have had enough. As our governments enable and actively participate in the carpet bombing, starvation, and occupation of our siblings in Lغزة, they have tacitly acknowledged the truth, long known among most of the world, that the institutions of so-called humanitarianism and international law are not fit for purpose. In truth, they are simply tools of imperialism. These institutions, like the ICC and the ICJ, that are supposed to hold states accountable for war crimes and genocide, that impose a duty on signatories of the Rome Statute to not only not commit genocide, but to actively prevent it, have been rendered toothless in the face of settler colonial Zionist entity backed up to the hilt by the US, the UK, and unfortunately so many others besides. As our government funds and provides political cover and intelligence to the rogue Zionist entity, we must acknowledge that we have that duty to hold our governments and leaders accountable for their complicity and active participation in the crimes of the Zionist entity. And we have been. But more than that, across the world, people of conscience are taking action to fill the void left by our spineless leaders, and are taking to the seas themselves to break the siege on Lغزة. Of course, we are all here to talk today about the global Samud flotilla and its predecessors, who have undertaken the journey to Lغزة, carrying the most basic of humanitarian supplies, baby food and bandages, and all manner of other basic necessities that the people of Lغزة have been denied for months now. They have done this expecting no support from their own governments, and in the knowledge that they are facing incredible personal risk in doing so. We have seen the brave men and women of the flotilla endure intensive drone strikes, facing abduction and being taken unlawfully into Israeli detention. And while in said detention, they have been subject to yet more physical assault. In the past weeks, we have seen more than 13 drone strikes on more than 10 different flotilla boats. And now finally, as the Zionists threaten their own citizens, some Western governments are condemning the strikes. Notably, the UK government has been silent on this. Shame on them! As British citizens risk their lives to break the siege that Britain helps to maintain, they are silent. And for what? The settler colony they set up 76 years ago that engages in apartheid, occupation, and genocide. Shame on them! Shame on them! It is important to acknowledge the recent developments that both Italy and Spain have announced that they are providing naval boats to defend the flotilla. We should acknowledge this for what it is, though. A performative act trying to ease domestic pressures on these governments. As was previously stated, in Italy this decision comes following a full shutdown of their economy by means of a mass strike. The UK and others' decisions to recognize the state of Palestine can be viewed in similar terms. Performance designed to pacify the strength of the people standing against genocide and settler colonialism. But will we be quiet? No! Will we be quiet? No! This should fuel our resolve to keep fighting. If these governments were committed to their humanitarian obligations, would they neglect to provide aid themselves to the Palestinians?
No!
Would they continue to support the Zionist entity?
No!
Would they fail to place sanctions on the genocidal settler colony?
No!
We will continue to fight for the people of Palestine, and so long as our governments act as bystanders and co-conspirators, then we will continue to fight them too. We will not allow our governments a moment of peace until Palestine is free from the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free!
We will get no justice
And you don't get no peace!
if you don't get no justice.
And you don't get no peace!
If we don't get no justice,
And you don't get no peace!
free the people, free the land.
Free the people, free the land!
No peace on stolen land.
No peace on stolen land!
In 1,000 starvation, the occupation, the siege of Lغزة, the siege of Lغزة, mass starvation, mass starvation, the whole damn system, the whole damn system, our institutions, shut them down, shut them down, free, 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 from the river to the sea, from the sea to the river, we won't be intimidated, we'll stop till we're liberated, in our thousands, in our millions, in our thousands, in our millions, in our millions, in our billions, in our millions, in our billions, free, 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 from the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
from the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zaki. About Italy.
I want to say something about the hypocrisy of the Western regimes. Italy actually let a naval vessel to go to protect its citizens, but at the same time, they asked the prime minister to recognize Palestine, and she refused, which shows you that they are always trying to fool their own people. You know, this vessel was out because the Italians made a strike all over. In their modern history, this is the strongest strike where 80% of the Italians were in the street. And they actually shut everything down. So this shows, again, I'll keep repeating, this shows the power of the people. It is us, guys. They are afraid of us. They let this vessel out because the people were in the streets, and yet they still don't want to recognize Palestine, which, by the way, I'll repeat again, I won't be ever happy with this recognition of the small scattered places that has settlements in between with no army and all this. I won't repeat myself, but I am just pointing to the hypocrisy of these regimes. But again and again and again, we should keep pressuring them because we are winning. As Haya said, you know why the repression is becoming to the max nowadays in these regimes that they claim they are democratic and for the free speech? It's because it's the first time they feel that the awareness is also in the max. They want to suppress the people. So it means what? Again, we are winning and we will win, inshallah. Just wanted to say that.
Very proud of my mom, Mama Azzat. She's a true revolutionary. Please make some noise for her. I'm very proud to introduce the next comrade of ours from the liberated zone, another second-year student. Please make lots of noise for Rishi.
We're gathered here because the Freedom Flotilla has been attacked yet again by the criminal Zionist entity. Shame! These brave activists on board are taking up the banner that our complicit government has failed to do. This British government that claims to be a defender of human rights and justice has abandoned its own citizens on board the flotilla. Shame! 19 of you, people like you, people of conscience, have been disregarded by this genocide accomplice that we call the British state. Shame! They are risking their lives to fulfill the duty of everyone in the world to do what they can to end the genocide, to break the siege, to end the forced starvation. Yet Keir Starmer, David Lammy and all of the other government minions refuse to protect them. Shame! Our government in particular is more than complicit. Not only does it still maintain full diplomatic and trade relations with this settler colonial entity, but it allows RAF jets as spy planes over Gaza. Shame! This British state of ours is actively supporting the expansion of colonial rule in Palestine. Shame! We must never forget why this flotilla even has to exist in the first place. The genocide that has gone on for almost 2 years is still going on. Since the start of this phase of fast genocide after October 7th, over 680,000 people have been murdered in the name of Zionism and private profits, yet our government refuses to hold any arms sales to the Zionist entity. Shame! Thousands of Palestinians are still being martyred every day, yet the world's institutions are still silent. The faces of martyred children are etched into our brains, yet for Keir Starmer and his cronies, they are seemingly free of this horror. The torment of dead Palestinians does not plague them. Their consciences are clean despite the blood on their hands. In the face of these horrors, we mustn't reduce Palestinians to their victimhood alone. They were parents, sons, daughters, the soul of someone's soul, the light in someone's eye. The Zionist entity has crushed everything the Palestinians in Gaza have materially. However, they have not and never will crush this one key thing: their spirit of humanity, and most importantly, their spirit of resistance. In the face of such grief, pain and anger, the people of Gaza have cared for one another and sacrificed what little things they have for their fellow people. We salute the resistance they show, and we will honor all our martyrs. The Palestinian people have given a light in the darkness of the world. People across the world are waking up. Nepal, the Philippines, Indonesia and Bangladesh have risen. The people of Italy have risen. They have risen against the corruption and tyranny of their governments. Their crimes, hypocrisy and lies no longer work. It is no longer hidden from our view. We see the death, destruction and despair these regimes inflict upon people like us and us ourselves. The British government in there always likes to talk about there being no money for jobs, education and public services. Yet it seems to have plenty of money for war, bombs and genocide. We have a message to Keir Starmer and all of Parliament. You cannot lie through your teeth to us anymore. We will not allow you to attempt to wash your hands of the blood of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians through your symbolic gestures. Your legacy will be genocide. We will not be silent. We will rise against your complicity. Our revolution will win. Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free.
From the sea to the river!
Palestine will live forever.
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free.
From the sea to the river!
Palestine will live forever.
Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest this cause! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest this cause! Divest!
The next speaker was in Gaza last year, who worked in Al-Aqsa Hospital and was recently on one of the boats for about 2 weeks. And it is an absolute honor for him to be here with us today. He is an absolute inspiration. Please make so much noise for Dr. James Smith!
You know, imagine being hyped up by the students that have shown up every single day for the last 2 years and who have suffered individually and collectively. These are the people that we should be be expressing our gratitude to. So thank you to the SOAS Liberated Zone and all of the other students who have been at the forefront of, you know, reminding us what our moral obligations are. I did work in Gaza for 2.5 months. I tried to go back again this year. I was denied repeatedly by the Israeli military, which of course is part of their wider strategy of genocide. They have complete control over the terms of humanitarian access. Approximately 90% of international health and humanitarian workers now are being denied by the Israeli military. And of course, it's only a matter of time before they do for healthcare what they've already done for food, which is impose these extremely violent and undignified, you can't even call them aid distribution mechanisms, this Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. It's only a matter of time before they do the same with healthcare provision as well. I had the good fortune and privilege of being with the flotilla for 2.5 weeks. Many of you that have been following will have seen that it did a bit of zigzagging. We went from Sicily to Tunisia, several ports in Tunisia, and then back to Sicily before they headed out into the central Mediterranean. Unfortunately, I had to be back to teach at the university, but I had the opportunity to be with the most amazing crew on the boat with us. We had a Palestinian brother and a Palestinian sister. They're both still out on the water now. They've just dropped anchor off the south coast of Crete with the rest of the flotilla. I was just watching videos as I was walking down to greet you all. I'm sort of offsetting the grief of not being there by being here with you all now. And, you know, a lot of folks have said, you know, everyone wants to be on the flotilla, of course. We all feel that deep sense of anger and rage and hopelessness at the fact that our governments continue to fail to act. And yet the reality is, of course, that the real work is here in the imperial core, where our government, our politicians continue to fail to uphold their most basic legal and political obligations. I understand that there will be more flotillas leaving in the next couple of days, regardless of the outcome for the Samud flotilla. The 1,000 Madeleines are leaving, the Freedom Flotilla Coalition is leaving. Of course, there's the wider Palestine solidarity movement, of which this is just one small networked part. And again, that's another really important thing, that we all have to feel connected, not least just to have some sense of hope and determination to keep moving forward, frankly. The flotillas will continue. They will continue until states uphold their most basic obligations, as I've said. The one thing I do want to say is all this noise today about the Italian Navy and the Spanish Navy, and I said this to the students that were with us last night at the encampment, this is just political spectacle. This is political theatre. These are the very same militaries that could, if they were so inclined, be confronting the Israeli Navy as we speak and ending the illegal blockade. These are the same naval vessels, the Israeli naval vessels, that I could see off the coast as we would drive to and from the hospital every day. We could listen to their artillery fire and the gunfire onto the beach. In fact, one of the last days I was in Gaza, the WHO building housing national and international staff was fired on by one of these Israeli boats, the very same boats that now plan to square off with the flotilla. This is just political spectacle, and we should really afford it no airtime. I've seen supposedly reputable left-wing outlets sort of lauding this as some big development. It's just complete nonsense, and we really shouldn't give these failing and flailing governments more airtime than they deserve. The purpose of the flotilla is to break the illegal blockade and to shame our governments for not doing what they should be doing. One of the last days, in fact, the day that I left the flotilla, I looked back at these tiny little sailboats, 15, 20 meters in length. They have, between 6 and 12 participants on them each. And behind them was this huge cargo tanker, all the Maersk cargo containers and so on. These are the ships that are, supplying the war machine, the Israeli war machine. Of course, dock workers have said that they will blockade these shipments if something happens to the flotilla. And I say, no, blockade these shipments now. None of this should be conditional on whether or not the flotilla makes it to Gaza. The flotilla is a statement. It's a symbolic action. The material conditions, the amount of aid on the flotilla is not enough to change the material conditions of more than a couple of hundred people, frankly. What we're trying to do is to do what we're doing here collectively now, which is to shame Keir Starmer and David Lammy, the war criminals that they are, for failing to act. And the sooner that we see them in The Hague, the better, frankly. I think I'll stop there. Thank you very much for being here, folks, and thank you for everything you're doing.
Dr. James is an absolute hero. Please make so much noise for him again.
Just want to say that Dr. James is very humble. He did a lot. He was there with the Palestinians facing the strikes and the bombing and so honestly we are honored to have you with us. Just wanted to say that again. Yeah.